Call the meeting to order.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Queen Anne's County Commissioners meeting. This is a public meeting that is being aired and recorded live on our local cable television station, QACTV 7. We are also rebroadcasting this on other social media outlets. These media broadcasts provide county citizens an opportunity to watch and review our scheduled public sessions. We acknowledge everyone's participation, and by attending, you acknowledge that this session is both recorded and aired. Press and public comment will be taken and is limited to 3 minutes per person. If you do care to speak, please sign up at the information table in the back of the room here. Comments longer than 3 minutes can be submitted in writing for the Commissioner's review. We will now stand and be led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Commission President Chris Corcorino.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's time to go. All right, good evening, everybody. So first up, we have to approve tonight's agenda. So our agenda for this evening's meeting, October 28th, along with the regular session minutes, the closed session minutes, and the Roads Board minutes have been circulated, from October 14th, have all been circulated for Commissioner's review. Do we have any additions or corrections?
Nope. Motion to approve the agenda and minutes as submitted.
Second. All right, got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Motion passes.
All right. Thank you, Commissioners. Okay, so first off, we have an opening press and public comment period that we can take any public comment, not related to our roads hearings. That'll be presented at 5:40 and 5:45. So we appreciate all citizens taking time to express views to the County Commissioners. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Comments longer than 3 minutes should be and can be submitted in writing. This commission respects your desire and right to convey your message freely. When you come forward, please state your name, your address, and your topic of interest. And please, in keeping with the dignity of our office, we ask that all views be expressed in a respectful and civil manner.
All right, Kathy Jones. I'll bring the microphone to you.
Oh, here we go.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Jones. I live at 208 Woods Road in Chester, here on the island, but I'm here as the chairman of the board of Churchill Theater. And my friend Diane here, who lives on the island, is here with me. She's one of our board members. We came to express our deepest appreciation for your support of us when we requested some money to help with our roof and truss. Your support allows us to continue to provide quality entertainment for Queen Anne's County, to provide a creative outlet for our citizens, and most importantly to us, educational opportunities for our youth. And as you know, as some of you may know, 40 years ago, Churchill Theater was scheduled for demolition, and a very, very small group of people saved it. You have once again helped us save Churchill Theater and saved a very important piece of Churchill history and Queen Anne's County history. So we are more than grateful. We hope to see you at a show sometime. I think I heard that one of you might have acted in the past and maybe would like to come out and audition for a show sometime. We'd love to see you at the theater.
We actually ask every day.
Well, there you go. Thank you so very much. There will be a chair in the theater with a plaque that says Queen Anne's County Commissioners 2025 to thank you for your support.
Thank you. All right. That's all we have signed up, but if anybody else would like to speak other than for the roads, there'll be time for you. But if anybody else would like to speak for press and public comment, feel free to come up to the microphone. All right, then we'll close press and public comment.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. Okay, so we are right on schedule at 5:40. So this evening, we have two public hearings for a potential special benefit tax assessment for a private to public road upgrade project here in Roanoke and Kent Island Estates. So first up, we have the Harford Road and Olive Branch Road. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have County Attorney Pat Thompson read the official notice that was advertised in the newspaper. We'll have a short presentation by Chief Roads Engineer Shane Moore, and then we'll take public comments on the Harford Road and Olive Branch Road project. Okay, Patrick?
Thanks, Todd. This is a public hearing being held October 28th, 5:40 p.m. at the United Communities Volunteer Fire Department for the purpose of considering the adoption of Harford and Olive Branch Roads special assessment charges for road construction. The purpose of these special assessment charges is to provide an equitable method of distributing the cost of constructing an 8-inch gravel base course, a triple surface treatment course, and associated drainage swales for Harford and Olive Branch Road between Route 8 and the end of Olive Branch Road to the benefit of property owners. Total estimated cost of the proposed construction is $232,320. Property owners will be assessed on a per property owner basis of the total actual project cost. The affected properties include all lots which abut the aforementioned roads, excepting those lots which currently abut and take access from an existing county or state road. The total project costs, including all engineering, construction, and interest on funds borrowed to finance the construction. Property owners will have the option of paying their assessment via one of the following estimated payment plan: a single payment of $5,667, or annual payments for 20 years of $417. The annual payment option is computed with an interest rate of 4% per annum. Persons who wish to speak on the proposed special assessment may do so at the hearing. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each, but written testimony of any length can be submitted before the hearing to the Director of Public Works, 312 Safety Drive, Centerville, Maryland. All hearing sites are accessible to individuals with disabilities. Sign language interpreters and assistive listening systems are available. Part of the record of the proceeding will be a certificate of publication certifying the notice of tonight's hearing was published in the Bay Times Record Observer for 2 successive weeks prior to tonight's hearing. Shane?
Thanks, Pat. Can you hear this okay? All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming out tonight. This is the Harford and Olive Branch Improvement Project by Special Benefit Tax Assessment Process. I just highlighted on the board in front of you are the key players in this project. This is a very unique project for us because this actually is 2 different subdivision communities. It's the Kent Island Estates Road Association and the Roanoke on the Bay Road Association that are involved with this project. As Harford Road turns into Olive Branch, and again, we have those 2 communities that are sharing that roadway.
Shane?
Can I switch? Does that sound better? There we go. Okay. Yeah. So here, this shows the limits of the project going from Route 8 all the way to the end of Olive Branch Road. As you can see, we have 41 property owners as part of this assessment. And just to highlight key things for people to understand, this is a special benefit tax assessment project where the people that live along the road are responsible for payment of construction. So if you have frontage and you have access, you are part of the project. There are some properties in this roadway that you see are not highlighted, such as these 2 lots right here. This happens when they have existing access on another state or county road. Both of these properties, for instance, have access on Claiborne Road, which is a county road. So they are not considered part of the Olive Branch Harford community for this assessment. And as highlighted, the subdivision line is right here, property number 7 and 32. That's where Harford turns into Olive Branch. And we ended the project right here at properties number 20 and 21. As you can see here, these properties are not served by sewer. There's no sense to improve this roadway beyond that and create additional costs for the project. So we ended it right here. These improvements are to improve the road to county road standards, which is a 40-foot right-of-way. Currently now, the Romocoke on the Bay and the Canal Estates Road Association own a 40-foot wide right-of-way known as Hartford Road and Olive Branch Road. This standard, our local road section type 3, is the smallest road section that we accept as a county road. This includes the roadside ditches for conveyance of stormwater and a 20-foot wide stabilized road base with triple course of tar and chip. This is the minimum width we can do for a public road, and that is so that we can get fire and rescue and DES down the road safely. Let me switch to the next slide. So the total length of this project is 2,640 feet. The current width is 16, and we all know the road surface currently as is. It's got some potholes in it up on the Hartford Road. It's gravel base, very dusty in the summertime. The right-of-way is 40, and we are proposing to go to 20 feet. The advantages to upgrading to a county road is if you don't have mail service will start coming down. If you don't have bus service, school buses will start coming down. The big advantage for these kind of projects is maintenance in perpetuity by the county. So once this road is taken over by the county, it is our responsibility in perpetuity to maintain it and pay for all costs, resurfacing, potholes, drainage work, snow removal. Those all become the responsibility of the county. So there's no incurring cost, just the assessment itself. The construction sequence, if approved, would start with clearing and grubbing within the right-of-way and drainage easements, clean and grade the primary stormwater outfall ditches, regrade the open section roadside ditches, and installation of entrance culverts, the roadway base widening, and the roadway reclamation grading compaction. Number 6, resurface with 3 courses of tar and chip. And finally, the last phase would be driveway ties in and final restoration. This at all should take we're proposing about 18 months from the time the project is approved, and we can begin design work. So as estimated right now, the project is $232,320. The assessment term is 20 years. The interest rate is estimated at 4%, and we have 41 property owners, and that's how we get to the $5,667 per owner. If you take the assessment and an annual payment for 20 years, that's $417 paid annually. That can be paid off at any time if you'd like. So this is the estimated schedule for moving forward. We've had our public information meeting on March 19th. We are currently having our formal public hearing, and we are hoping to, after this meeting, we will put together information for the commissioners for November 18th, 2025, to get the result decision, if positive or negative, to move forward with the project. I have in here December of 2025. Anything from this point on is an estimate, so I try to be a little conservative. If the commissioners do approve the project, we will begin design and permitting immediately. We will hopefully go to construction in the May of 2026, and the construction should last a few months through September 2026. We will monitor through the winter and then come back in the spring for a final course of tar and chip. Now, during the construction phase, the county will be out on site. We will be making sure the road is open and passable to all traffic. We will be making sure keeping the dust down and keeping the road passable for all traffic. Once the project is complete and we finally have our final course of tar and chip, then we go to the commissioners with a final cost of the actual cost of the project. With that, the commissioners will complete a resolution, and the properties can then be assessed. So at best, this is a conservative schedule, but this would be, when I say conservative, I mean this is best case right now. We would be looking at a actual assessment sometime in July, August of 2027. And so you would get notification probably in September of 2027 of the actual cost and payment. And then if you were choosing the yearly annual payment, that would go till October of 2028. Okay. All right, so these are the next steps with the project. We've completed the presentation part of this process. So now it's up to the residents of Hartford and Olive Branch to testify. If you'd like to, there was a sign-in sheet. I know some people are a little shy about coming up and discussing the project, but the whole purpose of this hearing is for the commissioners to hear how you feel about the project. Are you for it? Are you against it? Any comments you might have. So please do so. I stress that enough. That's the whole purpose of having this hearing, is to get public input. If you're shy, you don't want to talk now, you want to think about it, the public record will be left open for 2 weeks. We have to have the memo to the commissioners on November 18th for their final approval. So you have about 2 weeks. You can email me. My email's on here. My phone number's on here. You can mail comments if you like. All this information is in the presentation package, which is on the back table. Or if you want to get my phone number after the hearing, you're more than welcome to do that. And I'd love to hear from you and hear what you think about the project, so we can present all those to the county commissioners on November 18th. Comments will be presented to the commissioners again for final decision, and then if approved, residents will be notified by mail. I did want to go back real quick and highlight one thing for everybody, because we have had a rash of these with the last 3 projects we've done. In the last couple years, we've done Elm, Worcester, Virginia, and we're starting on Maryland soon. What happens here is when the commissioners make the decision November 15th, that's where there's a star here and a star down here. From this time period, you're notified by letter that this project has been approved, but there's no actual assessment to levy. If you sell your property anytime in this time period before the actual assessment letter, it's up to you to notify the next property owner that that assessment is coming. Now, you don't know the exact number that's coming. You have an estimate, but it's up to you. It's your obligation to notify the real estate agent and the next buyer that that's happening. And I stress that because on almost every one of our projects, we get to this point and we have someone that was never told, and they're very upset. So we want to put that information out there as much as possible. So please pass that information along. If they move forward with the project, you'll get a letter. Please keep that in your files. Please keep all of this information in your files and pass that to the next property owner. So. That concludes the presentation.
Just a couple of people have signed up. James, Selena.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm James Slonina. I'm the president of the Romocoke on the Bay Roads Corporation. I really want the project to succeed and go forward. I do have some concerns and questions for you all on things that I had brought up to Shane. First of which is our covenants and restrictions that are recorded with the county. For any road to be taken over by a county or state, it requires a 2/3 majority vote in order for those residents that live on that road to move forward versus a simple majority. Have you guys taken that into consideration with this project?
No, and the community covenant's not binding on the commissioners. They're binding on the property owners, but the commissioners have absolute authority to levy or not levy the benefit assessments. They're not required to get approval or a petition signed by 2/3.
Okay, I'm not sure how that sounds a little bit more like eminent domain than it does a special assessment. So anyways, that's my comment and concern, that the covenants are not being addressed and followed. So I did raise these issues on August 8th to Shane in an attempt to mitigate these things before the actual hearing. That was the first question and issue. The second is the number of lots, and if Shane could possibly bring the map back up, I would appreciate it. So just looking at the the joint roads, there's 15 lots on Hartford, and there's 26 lots on Olive Branch. And again, based on the approval of either 2/3 or not, whether you're taking that into consideration, there's also an additional 16 lots that Shane has outlined as not included as part of the assessments. That's the 6 lots at the end of Olive Branch and the 10 lots that are in red in the middle. Those lots should be taken into consideration for a total of 42 lots, which would also, if you divided it between the total number of lots, would reduce the individual assessment to each homeowner. I asked the question specifically if these lots can ever be built upon, and would the county say that they would never be built upon? And the answer is no, we will not say that. So that means that those lots possibly in the future could be built on. And just to bring that into a little bit more focus, on Allegheny Road, there was 3 lots next to the Romocoke on the Bay Clubhouse. We were told by the county would never perk and would never be built upon, yet now there's 3 big houses right on Allegheny Road with, I don't know, they increased the base by 8 foot, bringing in hundreds and hundreds of loads of dump dirt, fill dirt, just to get it up to the level that they could build and get insurance. That's it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Next is Mike Ferretti.
Hello, my name is Mike Ferretti. I own 3 lots in Olive Branch. To address the other gentleman's comments, oh yes, I think that has a lot to do with the ski system and the allocation. I'm no expert, but I think we need to talk to the ski people, because the lots that are assigned here, because I've learned a lot over the last year since I've lived here, but if there's a ski allocation, that lot can be built upon. If there's not, there will not be any more ski allocation. Does that ring a bell with anyone up there? Yeah, ski school, yeah. Does that make sense? So I think,
But if it's not, it doesn't mean in the future, 10 years down the road, they're going to change the plan.
well, that's true, and I've asked that question too. I mean, what happens if the ski people allocate more taps? Is that what they're called? Taps or heads or whatever they're called? That's a possibility. And if that's something, maybe something you all should think about is retroactive to, if those lots get in, I'm sure there's a financial mechanism where, we could be remunerated on that for what we pay.
Just quickly, I'm not the ski expert, but I'm going to do my best here.
Okay.
So we did provide James with a ski diagram showing where the line is actually run. There is no sewer line in front of any of these hatch properties.
Right.
So there is no way for them to get ski as is. Ever, that becomes a different question.
Okay, that's, I think, what you're saying.
As
Right,
part of
right.
part of the process to get ski to happen with the state was the guiding force that wanted to limit
Yes.
the number to not develop. They wanted to maximize that number.
Right.
So as part of that, they did not allow these to be served.
That's right.
So the county cannot serve them on their own. If the county ever wanted to serve them, they'd have to go back to the state, back through that process to get their permission to do that. And that is highly unlikely.
Right.
Is it an impossibility?
Right. Well,
But
nothing's impossible, right?
It's a highly unlikely the state would ever, as they are the driving force to say no more, to do as little as possible. Only serve the houses you need to, for environmental reasons, minimize the amount of development potential. So these were not served. They were specifically, there's no line in front of them for that reason.
Well, that's great. I didn't get up to talk about that but that's a valid concern he has.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be an issue ever down the road, because I think what you see here with the ski allocation is set in stone, and I don't think it's going to change. There's capacity issues right now, the moratorium and so forth. So, good point, but I don't think it's a genuine concern for us in this room in our lifetimes. Now, I'm only 23. No, I'm just kidding. So I wanted to say something here. So when I first came on Olive Branch, the road was and still is horrendous. You can't, it's a health hazard, and I'll speak for some of my neighbors who may not want to get up. But when I started hearing their concerns with the small children, I called Chris, I'm going to call you by first name, and I spoke to Shane. And one of my final comments to them, they were very, open, wanted to hear it and all that. I said, this is the place that the land that Queen Anne's County forgot about. You remember I said that? And I felt really compelled to try to help this along because I think there's a tremendous amount of benefits, but the underlying benefit to this is the health of our kids and the people that live there. We have some elderly citizens on our road and so forth. So I applaud you all. I can't believe how quickly you've moved. No, I really. It's been amazing. No, and are you Denise? No.
I'm Maureen. We're 206.
Oh, you are? Okay. I know. See, I'm new here, so I really can't speak of all of that. But since I've been here, I just have to say thank you. Let's keep it moving forward. I think it's something that all of us citizens down there need and deserve. And I can speak probably for the people that have been here 10, 20 years. It's a great thing. It's great for Queen Anne's County. It's great for all of us. So thank you very much.
All right, thank everyone who signed up. Is there anybody else who has any public comment? Yes, ma'am.
I'm Denise Booz. I live on Olive Branch, and I have for over 50 years. We were one of the first full-time house on Olive Branch. We used to have to come in from the other end. You could not get through to Hartford, and it was oyster shell roads, and they were not easy. We've been there. We've seen all the changes. We're glad this is happening. The only thing I am concerned about is their young children. We are the elderly. Thanks, Mike. On that road, with one other exception, another lady. She's well into her 90s. But every day I see people driving through there. I know we have a 15-mile-an-hour sign, and that's not, but most of it's the dust, and that will be alleviated once this is paved. But I'm really concerned about the young children. We have at least a dozen young children on that road. And the people, I don't know where they come from, if they come from the other end of Olive Branch or the other roads, are going so fast that one of these days I'm afraid we're going to have a tragedy. So I do really want this to be paved, and I really want the speed limit to be as low as possible. And also have the dear police down there once in a while to take care of it. Thank you.
Hey guys, Denise Dukes. I'm sure I'm a familiar name from emails anyway, so it behooves me to stand up and say thank you. I support this. I moved here 10 years ago, and I think the realtor said there'll be a road here soon. I actually backed away when my husband pulled down to look at the house because I said I don't know what this is and I don't want anything to do with it. And I'm from Dorchester County, so I felt like we were going a little backwards, frankly. I agree with all the dust comments, and it's been, I wouldn't say it was fast, but you guys had a lot of considerations. So thank you for that. And the weirdness of the house next to me is Olive Branch. I'll never get over how dumb that is, but whatever. I wasn't here in 1970. And I agree about the dust and to Denise's comments about the speed. Also when it's a dirt road, we seem to have no shortage of dirt bikes that, I'll look around and think, this is why are there dirt bikes? Because it's a dirt road and it can do it. I think once we get to a paved road, that'll stop. That's where I do concern myself about the speed or four-wheelers. Like, take a four-wheeler, and this is not the place, right? So if we get paved, that'll help. And I do think you guys have been considerate the costs. I've been concerned that, look, there have been people here 50 years, as you heard from Denise, and thank you for your support, Denise. She's always been great and was helpful on the road captain side. But when people were already paying for the sewer, I was worried that the cost is much lower than I thought. Economies of scale, right? And I look forward to hearing more about the widening, right? When it says you have you're looking for a 20-foot
20-foot wide
Right.
road surface,
We're at
yes.
16 feet now, and you've got a 40-foot
Right away.
Right away. What does that mean? And you're going to stumble, like, you're moving someone's ornamental tree or things like that. How you make people whole. I mean, you are helping with the road, and you probably have to move mailboxes.
Yes.
That'll be fun.
The first step
So-
will be move the ditches to the proper place, and then the road base will be after that.
Right,
But
because
we'll
we've
be,
got some existing ditches that you guys put in
Yep.
at some point, which has helped because we used to call it Lake Hartford, right? When it rains, you can take a kayak down it,
Yeah.
right? Probably fish out of the ditch. And then there's those side ditches, I don't know
Yeah.
what they are. They're full of stuff, so you're right, like the regular grading, because it does seem like with the exponential increase in build, Olive Branch is a lot more people, and more people are coming from that back end, so it's been hard to keep up. I can only do so much with, buckets of dirt, because we're at the end of the road, literally, on this road. So thank you, guys.
Are there any other public comments?
Hello. My name's Hannah Enzuto. I have a bit of a unique case. My husband and I actually own the property shown as 19 on the map, so our home is actually on Ackerman Drive. But we are included in this project, and my understanding from a conversation that I've had with Shane is that we are lumped into this assessment. If the county were to take over Ackerman Drive at some point in the future, we would be exempt from the assessment on that property. However, we have no access from Olive Branch. So I completely understand. I mean, it sounds like it's a fantastic project, and it behooves all of the owners of Olive Branch, and it's something really great for them. But unfortunately, we don't quite reap the benefit from it. It sounds a little bit like we're going to get stuck with the assessment and have to pay for something that we have no access to. Getting access to our home from Olive Branch would require us to completely demolish a pretty large shed in the backyard, clear the lot, so it's just not something that's feasible. So again, a bit more of a personal issue. I'm not sure if there's any way we could be exempted from this project, because I'm not sure if I understand you correctly. The 6 lots on the end there, those are not buildable, and our lot that fronts Olive Branch is also not buildable. So unless I'm confused
Right.
on what the parameters are that exempts those
Right.
lots,
if you own a lot that has frontage on 2 private roads,
that's what it was.
you
Okay.
have to go with the first upgrade project that comes along.
Right,
So if
okay.
you were on a corner, it would be easier. It would make a little more
Right.
sense. In this case, you are highly unique in that. That's a
Yeah.
very unique property you
It,
have.
it is. It's a little
Yeah.
bit bizarre. So, again, like I said, it's very much a personal issue. I think it is fantastic for the owners on Olive Branch, but it just kind of puts us in a difficult position where we're adding on an assessment, but we don't really reap the benefit. So, that's all. Thank you.
Any other public? Yes, sir.
Just wanted to add real fast, I thought it would be brought up, but there is no plans to change either road name. It would be very difficult to change that, so it's still going to be 2 roads, 1 road with 2 names. It'll stay that way.
Hello, my name is Edward Murphy, and I'm at 219 Olive Branch Road, which is the 21 there. That's where the pavement's going to end, where that red line is?
Yes.
That turns my driveway into the turnaround. I might as well put in a circle driveway. I have it already with the dirt road, but that seems kind of unfair that there's not even access past the lot for even, a car to stop and back up, or. I
Correct.
mean,
Yes.
And then what about the bus coming to the end of the road?
So we reached out to property owner 19 about the possibility of using their property as a turnaround and
Okay.
getting an easement. They had some concerns with that. So if the commissioners approve the project and we're moving forward, we're going to be working with try to work with one of these property owners that's non-buildable to get an easement to create some sort of T turnaround. But we would be pushing very hard not to be using your driveway as the
Well, I'm going to
turnaround.
put up a gate, so they're not going to use my driveway. But I don't want to go to that expense either. I don't want to be that neighbor.
Yeah.
I just don't feel that, if you just stop right there,
Yeah.
what other choice is there?
Another option.
Now, when people figure out that those next 6 lots and that road, quote, that path in between them is not accessible, they back up, they stop. I've had delivery trucks come down to the end of the road that had to back completely out to Claiborne?
Yeah.
Because there is no place to actually turn around. Would they put any kind of a possible turnaround or a round out where a vehicle could turn around?
Well, in order to do that, well, typically cul-de-sacs are very large, they're very expensive, it's a lot of asphalt, or a lot of tar and chip. And what happens is they end up turning into parking lots, especially in communities like this where it's the dead end of a road where you don't have a lot of traffic and people start parking their boats there or campers. So what we try to do is in a situation like this is minimize cost and do a T turnaround and use one of these properties as that. We have not reached out to these property owners yet. We will, if the commissioners approve the project, we'll try to come up with something.
Okay.
The other option is to work with either you or your neighbor across the street and
Right.
put your driveway in some sort of easement where we would maintain it and we would improve it as part of the project for turning around. But we really don't want to do that. We want to work with one of these property owners to create some sort of, it's a 50-foot section on each leg. So you would have a little
Right.
50-foot, and we could leave that gravel and keep that kind of for a turnaround, but not put a lot of money into that to keep the cost of
Okay.
the project
All
down.
right. My other concern, I guess, would be if all 41 don't sign on to it and it gets done anyway, you're being assessed because you live there. Is that correct?
The commissioners can make that decision, yes.
Okay. All right. So, I guess that's it, but that just seems like we're getting the short end of the stick, as they say.
Understood.
Thank you.
Any other public comment?
All right, thank you, that concludes that. We'll have the vote will be at the next commissioners meeting, which normally we meet on the second and fourth Tuesday every month, but the second Tuesday of November is a holiday, so we're actually meeting on November 18th, so it would be 3 weeks from today. You can reach out to Shane in between, you can reach out to us individually with any questions you have, for, against, or questions. You have 3 weeks to reach out to us, and we'll continue to take in any public comment that way.
Close the hearing.
Close the hearing.
All right, commissioners, we can move forward with hearing number 2. It is 10 minutes after 6, so we're on schedule. This is public hearing number 2. This is special assessment charges for road construction on South Carolina Road and a portion of Oak Street. So, Mr. Thompson, you want to read the legal notice, and then we'll have a similar presentation.
This is a public hearing
Shane.
being held by the county, reading it, county, October 28th.
Microphone.
5:45. United Communities Volunteer Fire Department for the purpose of considering the adoption of the South Carolina Road and a portion of Oak Street special assessment charge for road construction. Purpose of these special assessment charges is to provide an equitable method of distributing the cost of constructing an 8-inch gravel base course, a triple surface treatment surface course, and associated drainage swales for South Carolina Road between Route 8 and Bay Drive, as well as a portion of Oak Street from South Carolina Road to Oregon Road to the benefit of property owners. The total estimated cost of the proposed construction is $336,600. Property owners will be assessed on a per property owner basis of the total actual property costs. The affected properties include all lots which abut the aforementioned road, excepting those lots which currently abut and take access from an existing county or state road. The total project cost includes all engineering, construction, and interest on funds borrowed to finance the construction. Property owners have the option of paying their assessment in a single payment of $6,870 or 20 annual payments of $506. The annual payment includes interest at the rate of 4% per annum. Persons who wish to speak on the proposed special assessment may do so at this hearing. Speakers will be limited to 3 minutes each, but written testimony of any length may be submitted before the hearing to Director of Public Works, 312 Safety Drive, Centerville, Maryland. All hearing sites are accessible to individuals with disabilities. Sign language interpreters and assistive listening systems are available. Part of the record of the proceeding will be a certificate of publication indicating that notice of this hearing was published for 2 successive weeks in the Bay Times, Record Observer, a newspaper of general circulation in Queen Anne's County. No one signed up to speak at this hearing. Is there anyone?
Well, we have a presentation first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's a similar presentation.
Right.
Thanks, Pat. So welcome to the South Carolina and a portion of Oak Street Improvement Project. Again, this is a special benefit tax assessment project, whereas the owners that live along the road are responsible for the construction costs. This project is just in Canal Estates Roads Association road, and we'll get started with the presentation. This is map number 1 of the assessment area. Wanted to highlight in this map, you come in from Route 8, you come down South Carolina and turn and go up Oak Street. The reason this road is being included as part of this project is for connectivity. We don't want to bring a county road and stop it at a dead end. With a private road here, we want to connect through. That's why it's included as part of this project. There is no proposal to take this road south. There's no need to improve unnecessary improvements to increase the cost of the project. The idea is to improve what we can, but minimize the cost to the property owners. I'll stop here and highlight on this map because at the public information meeting we had, there was a lot of concern from a citizen in reference to drainage coming down South Carolina as well as coming down from Route 8 into a into a waterway that runs along these property lines and out. And we have currently reached out to property owner number 17 about a possible easement to run some of the South Carolina water through that property and bypass down there and around. That is only in talks. There's nothing approved, but we have reached out and initiated that process. So this is the first 23 property owners on South Carolina. We'll just call it South Carolina East. The the other part of the project is South Carolina West. As you can see, the improvements come down from Bay Drive and come all the way down to the paper road here and stop. Idea being, again, there's no need to improve a paper road that doesn't serve anybody. We have connectivity here with Elm Street. And these are the proposed assessed lots. The total number on this project is 49 property owners. I'll highlight because some of the questions at the public information meeting about this project is these property owners here they have access on South Carolina, but they already paid as part of Elm because both roads were private at the time. That's why this is not a property owner and excluded from the project. All right. Again, Canal Estates Roads Association has a 40-foot wide right-of-way. We will be utilizing all of that to improve the roadside ditches to convey stormwater, as well as improve the road base to 20 feet. This would be using a gravel base, most likely CR6, as well as getting into the tar and chip, which would be the final triple course on top. Total length of the project is 3,740 feet, and that is from Route 8 all the way to Bay Drive. I have it here current width about 16 feet, but those that live on the road know that kind of varies a little bit. And again, looking to improve the 20-foot. The same construction sequence on all of our road improvement projects. We would start with the clearing and grubbing of the right-of-way and drainage easements. Then we would move on to the primary stormwater outfall ditches, and then get into the actual roadside ditches and the driveway culverts. And then we would start working on the road itself with road base widening up to 20 feet. And then we'd reclaim everything, grade, compaction, and get it ready for our tar and chip, and then close with our final restoration. The total cost estimated right now is $336,600 for 20 years at 4%. Using 49 property owners, that's how you get to the $6,870 cost per owner, and broken down over 20 years at 4%, you get the $506 payment. This schedule here is the same as we use for Hartford. Both projects, if both projects were approved, we'll be looking to do the design around the same time. This schedule could slip a little bit because we would have two projects going on at the same time. Our construction crews also, we have one crew that's really good at building roads, but they can only build one road at a time. So this is, again, much like Hartford, this is our best case estimate. Again, we changed this to November 18th, 2025, as the commissioners have indicated, and then we would, if approved, we would immediately start designing and permitting this project. Not highlighted at the last hearing, but I'll highlight this at this point. Once the commissioners vote to make this a county road, we will begin maintenance immediately. We will, if you've got a pothole, you call us. You got drainage problem, give us a call. Now, we can't put all our money into it, but we can certainly help out. Again, the assessment cost, the cost of actual construction is borne by the property owners, but we certainly, during this time frame, will be helping out. So you feel free to call us. We will get through the designing and permitting phase. Construction would hopefully be next year, and then we would monitor through the winter of 2026, 2027. And that, when we say monitor through the winter, typically we like to tar and chip 2 courses and leave it through one winter to make sure there's no problems with the roadway, and then we come back and finish it in the spring. If we have a bad winter, if things break up, we want to fix that, get it clean looking. We want it to look brand new when it's completed and give you guys a great product. And then once that's completed, we would close the project out, work with the commissioners on a resolution, and then we can actually send out assessment letters to everybody with what the actual cost will be. Using this calendar, that would be the full payoff would be September 2027, with first annual payment October 2028. I will highlight again, it's one of my biggest highlights of these hearings, is that during this window, you are responsible for notifying the next property owner or the real estate agent if you are selling. So when you get this letter, if it says the county commissioners approved this project, please keep that in your files and pass that along moving forward. All right, this is the last slide. Again, your testimony is vital. I would highly recommend, if you haven't signed up, and feel free to speak, get up, tell the commissioners what you think about this project. Again, if you're shy and you want to wait, feel free to email me, call me, anything you can to let me know, and I will include that in the open record that I will give to the commissioners on November 18th for their final decision. That concludes the presentation.
My name is Chuck Skeens. I live on 302 South Carolina Road. I grew up here, 1971, built a house in Romacoke. My dad did, so forth. The dust on the road is one concern, and I appreciate you giving me an estimate. My big concern is you're not giving us a price until 2028. What is the plus and minuses on your estimate of 4%? You're talking about $502 to me yearly now, but when the project's done, if that doubles because of interest rates, tariffs, whatever you want to call it, you're not giving me a price now, you're giving me a low-end price now. That's my concern. And I'm a furloughed guy, okay? So it's part of my problem.
So the estimated interest rate is stated at 4%. Time frame of the project is roughly 18 months. That can slip maybe 2 years. However, because the estimate is given at 4, it'll never go above 4.
At what?
It'll never go above 4%.
Okay. Well,
If at the
okay.
time of assessment, the interest rate is lower, the county commissioners can go by
Okay.
that interest rate. It's market-based, and if the county needs to borrow the money or sell bonds to do the project, the $336, whatever the final number is, then they need to charge an interest rate for that. That's why there is an interest rate charged, but when we have these public hearings and we give an estimated interest rate, it does not go up.
Okay.
In case that we do have something that happens.
All right,
and
I
it
appreciate
goes
it.
up.
And my other concern with multiple people that had it, once the road is paved, the speed limit, there are a bunch of new kids on my street there. Is there a way to put in speed bumps? I mean, I get an Amazon truck doing 35, 40, and I get a UPS truck doing 50. And that's not counting a 16-year-old at the other end that's doing 70. And that's at 11 o'clock at night. You know, and that's a constant basis. So I don't know how much more expensive speed bump at a certain point to allow that to slow down. Just a possibility, something to slow that vehicle. That's a long straightaway. You come off of Baydale Drive and you're shooting the Elm, they're kicking hard. And I'm at the end, right there, lot 30. So it's just a possibility. I didn't know if you could put speed bumps in there. I don't know how much that would affect people, but
There is a speed.
that's all I have.
A speed traffic calming program. The criteria, you don't see speed humps on any other roads that can on the states. The criteria would be, you need an average daily traffic of 1,000 cars a day, and you need the 85th percentile to be around 34 miles an hour, 9 miles an hour opposed to speed limit. We can't post anything lower than 25 on county roadways, and all residential communities in Queen Anne's County that are public are posted at 25. So it would be an exercise of working with your neighbors and the road association and the HOA about letting people know if we have a speedy concern, to let people know to slow up, and as well as getting the sheriff involved for ticketing. And we certainly have devices that we can install that highlight speed, so we can record it, those kinds of things. But it's very hard to get traffic calming in a residential neighborhood. They're primarily used for more of a connector road that has residential and commercial, and you have commercial traffic moving through a residential neighborhood. In strictly residential neighborhoods, it's very hard to get them in there.
Any other comment, questions? Come on up.
Hi, my name is Jeannie Hutchinson. I live on 224 South Carolina, and this kind of addresses what everyone else is talking about, the children and the speed. I don't know who makes the determination of where the stop signs go, but we now have them going north and south. We need to have them going east and west because they're coming off of Route 8 and they're flying. And there's no stopping anyone. That's where most of our traffic is coming off of Route 8 onto all of those roads, Oregon's, Maryland, whatever. And they get the speed up. I walk sometimes early in the morning. Those kids coming in to beat mom and dad up in the morning, around 5 and 6 o'clock, are doing 60 and 70 miles an hour on those roads.
Can you point to where you're talking about on
Just coming in off of Route 8.
Here, I'll go to the next one.
I don't want to be, you show me, you know where I'm talking about.
Yeah, well, there's Route 8 there to your right. Right.
Okay, so Route 8. So when you come in off of, well, I'm just going to say you come to my place off of Oregon because I'm off of South Carolina dead end. But the point is when people are coming in Oregon Road, there's no stop all the way up to the very end. Any of the roads coming off of Route 8, there's no stop signs. All the stop signs are at the four ways coming across. So it's making people come across. There's not much traffic that goes across. All the traffic's coming off of Route 8. When they come off, their pedal starts, and they know they don't have to stop till the very end, till they get to Bay Road. We've got children, young families now coming in there. Dogs, people walking, biking. It's dangerous. Who makes those decisions where those stop signs go? And can we put in slow down, dead end? Because on our dead end street, where we are in South Carolina, we have deliveries, everybody's delivering now. They fly. Screech on their brakes at the very end, they have no place to turn around. There's nothing down there. You know, you live there at the very end. They get your driveway or your front yard. I see them in your front yard. So that is a concern. But who makes that decision on who puts those stop signs there? It doesn't sound very smart with the way they did it because all of your traffic's coming off of Route 8 onto all of those roads. Their speed gets up to 50 and 60. Sorry?
They switched them one time.
And why? Why? Why would they
Because
switch them?
some kid that was doing a lot of drugs complained and the county gave in and they put stop signs going in the.
So we're going to kill our children and dogs and people over that.
The thing is people like me who have been here for 40 years, we're constantly running those stop signs for 40 years, but I don't drive like that at hell either.
Right. Well, you're the minority here.
Well, no,
I mean, you're the minority that goes slow. Everybody else, I mean, the people are just flying down this road. I understand that.
To address it quickly, typically you put a stop sign, when you have an intersection, you put the stop sign on the road that has less traffic. That's for you to stop. The main roads have more traffic, they should not stop.
So when our children get hurt, then it's going to take that one time when these guys, I guarantee you this kid that I saw the other morning was doing 60 miles an hour on Sunday morning, trying to rush home before mommy and daddy got up in the morning. 60 miles an hour.
But
On
per-
Tennessee Road, he was flying.
Right, let me finish. Per the manual uniform traffic control devices, stop signs are not meant to slow people up. Stop signs are meant to stop. If you put stop signs, like you're saying, what it leads to, as this lady just said, people stop stopping at it. They start rolling up to it and taking off. So they're not really working. They're slowing people up, but that's not the intent. If you don't have a specific reason for putting up stop sign, if you're using the argument of speed, every intersection in Kent Island State and every intersection on every road would be a four-way stop sign, because everyone has
Well,
the
if it
same.
saves a life, it's worth it.
And everyone
It
would
is
have to
worth it.
stop every couple hundred feet. That's.
It's worth it.
Can I comment about ours? So at the intersection of Claiborne and Penny Lane, we've got a four-way stop sign. There's no reason. And the biggest traffic is all going down Cove Creek that they're flying. So that stop sign went in. Sorry. I apologize. The intersection of Claiborne and Penny Lane in Romococa on the Bay, it's a four-way stop sign. It's not difficult, and the major flow of traffic is Penny Lane down into Cove Creek.
Yes, it is. Yes.
So the major traffic flow is the main flow, and that's what she's trying to raise up.
Shane, my question is, so weren't all these roads under the HOA originally? Like, so what did the
Yes.
county have to do with the traffic calming and all? Did we have anything to do with these roads because they were under the HOA, or how did that work? Just out of curiosity.
When they were private, they were signed the way the Road Association signed them. That's
Right, so
long before my time.
Kent Island Estates put these stop signs where they are now, right? Not the county or who?
Probably a combination.
Okay.
Over time. The roads have been slowly upgraded over time.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
All right, we'll close the meeting. The vote will be on November 18th. As I said last time, we're not meeting on the second Tuesday of November. It's been moved over to November 18th. So 3 weeks from now, please feel free to reach out to us, emails, calls. Reach out to Shane. You can reach out to Ellen. Yeah, you can also show up on the 18th as well. Thank you.
All right, Commissioners, we have a few more items of business for this evening's meeting. So we have one item for the Department of Public Works. If you want to turn to tab number 2. So we have tab 2, item 1, pages 1 and 2. This is the contract for the Queen Anne's County Library Centerville Branch Rain Garden and Parking Lot Rehabilitation. Sealed bids were received for this particular project in Centerville for landscaping and parking lot rehabilitation. Work consists of renovation of an existing rain garden and expansion of the parking areas and conversion of the existing asphalt pavements to permeable traditional brick pavers, and removing some Portland cement curb and relocating the dumpster enclosure. So we had 5 bids ranging from, 5 bids ranging from $128,098.30 to $221,101.19. Marshall's Professional Property Management of Cambridge, Maryland submitted the lowest responsible and responsive bid to the solicitation. We have funding approved in the Centerville Branch Library Improvement Project, so we would recommend the low bidder of Marshall's Professional Property Management for this contract. Motion?
To award the Queen Anne's County Library Centerville Branch Rain Garden and Parking Lot Rehabilitation Contract to Marshall Professional Property Management LLC of Cambridge, Maryland, in the amount of $128,098.30, and authorize the Director of Public Works to issue a notice of award and execute the contract on behalf of the County Commissioners.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, 5-0, motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners. So now we have 3 action items for your consideration this evening. If you want to turn to tab number 3. So we have tab 3, item 1, pages 1 and 2. This is actually a letter that we drafted to Governor Moore concerning the US 301, Maryland 405 safety improvements, and this is requesting immediate funding and support and initiation of a permanent safety improvement at this particular at-grade intersection on 301, along with his support for new legislation to add this section of roadway to the listed automated speed camera enforcement areas in the Maryland Code.
I move to execute the letter to Governor Moore on the US 301 405 Maryland 405 safety improvements.
Motion is second. Any discussion on that?
Thank you, Commissioner.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Item 2 on pages 3 through 5 is a second letter to Governor Moore. This is a request to advance state funding for the new detention center renovation project. And right now, the funding is allocated in FY28. We would request this funding to be accelerated so that we can continue the design work of a new detention center at the former Eastern Pre-Release Camp site south of Church Hill by 1 fiscal year, so we can continue with that project moving forward. And as you know, the other 2 counties that were engaged with us, Kent and Caroline, have pulled back because they have some other capital projects to pursue in favor of this particular project for a regional detention center.
Motion to sign the letter?
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. Our final item is item number 3 on pages 6 through 18. This is a Conservation Reserve Enhancement Program easement. It's agreement of sale and project agreement for the Hidden Birch Farms, LLC. This is for 274 acres out of a 443-acre property owned by Hidden Birch Farms. It will be submitted to the Maryland Department of Natural Resources for review and final approval, and includes the Conservation Reserve Enhancement Program CREP package agreement of sale. The property is situated in our county priority preservation area and will add to the 616 acres of easements in that particular category in the county. No county funds are requested or needed for this easement.
I make a motion to approve the CREP easement agreement of sale and project agreement for the Hidden Branch Farms LLC property.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion on that one? All in favor say aye. 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 Any opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Commissioners. That is all of the business items, new business items we had this evening. We have another press and public comment period to conclude the meeting before we go into roundtable. So we have Donna Smith counting down the days. Come on up, Donna. And if you look in your book under the information tab, there's a memorandum from Ms. Smith there that I think she's going to highlight a few things there for us tonight. So
This will be the last time, and I'm not asking for money tonight. So Friday is my last day. I'm officially retiring on Friday. I just wanted to kind of give you a summary of what we've accomplished in the last 20 years, and I wanted to say thank you to the commissioners, especially the current commissioners. You've been behind land preservation 100% whenever Joe and I have come up in front of you. You've been totally supportive about keeping the county agriculturally predominantly, and I just wanted to touch on what we've done. So through the Maryland Ag Land Preservation Foundation, known as MALF, we've secured in the last 20 years $70,459,283.79, preserving 17,280.7 acres. Under the Maryland Department of Natural Resources, under DNR, through Rural Legacy, we've secured $21,432,794.49, preserving 4,680 acres. And under the DNR CREP Reserve Enhancement Program, we've done $1,475,735, preserving 600 acres, and we have pending $7,109,889 for 1,023 acres. Joe is working very hard on them, getting them settled. So for the past 20 years, we've secured $100,477,702 that has stayed in Queen Anne's County. And through that effort, we only were obligating $14,537 of county money. So for your $14 million match, we were able to secure $100 million in preservation money, and that's a lot to be proud of. So we've preserved in the last 20 years 23,581.71 acres. We've now are at the total of 90,962 acres with an additional 2,780 acres pending. So when those settlements occur, we'll have 47% of the county preserved in ag preservation for a total of 93,742 acres of our 100,000 acre comprehensive plan goal. So we're already surpassed what the state has required us to do. I think we have done a tremendous job in the last 20 years, and it's not without you all's support financially. You know, I think we've made great strides. We have more preserved land than any other county in the state of Maryland, and that's a lot to be proud of. Even over Carroll County. Yes. They have more mouth acres than we do, but we've got more overall counties. So I just want to say thank you very much. You've been a great support to me. I'm very proud of the work that we've done, and my predecessor, Joe, is going to take up, and he's taking it and running with it. So he's going to do a great job, but thank you very much. I appreciate all your support over the years. I know some of them have been a little rocky at times, but we set out a high goal and we've reached it. So thank you very much.
Congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you.
You deserve it. Prop your feet up and enjoy life.
I am, and I'm going to enjoy my grandkids, and I'm going to enjoy farming out west. So I just want to say thank you very much.
Any other press and public comment? All right, we'll go to Ralphie.
Sure. So, Donna, I think next to Steve Chanley, you're the one that came in and asked us for the most money as long as I've been commissioner. When you think, Jim? Agree on that, right? Yeah. Steve comes in for $200,000-$300,000. You come in for $1 million every time. So, but it was well worth it. I'm happy to have been a part of it for the last 10 of your 20 years. So half of the time, it's always been a commitment of mine. I know Jim's been along for that whole ride, and then as we commissioners came back, and Phil was prior to that. So. Congratulations on your retirement, and thank you for all you've done for the county for preservation. And as I said at your proclamation reading, somebody's got some big shoes to fill, but I'm not going to call him out here in front of the audience. But again, congratulations, and that's all I got.
The only thing I wanted to share that this past Saturday I had an opportunity to participate in a fundraiser for a great organization building here in Queen Anne's County. An organization that raises money to help folks who are financially or physically challenged that own property, mostly our elders who don't have the wherewithal to maintain those properties. If somebody can't use a set of steps anymore and they need a ramp but don't have the funds to do it, this organization does an amazing job. So they had a Kent County Sheriff's Office challenge the Queen Anne's County Sheriff's Office in a basketball game. Lance Richardson, our district attorney, was the MC for the event. Yours truly got to be one of the three referees that officiated the game, and I'm proud to say that the Queen Anne's County Sheriff's Office kicked some serious butt. So that's it.
It was a good game. Kent County put up a fight.
Yeah. They lost. Buzzer beaters.
Thank you, Donna. Enjoy. Joe, would you have a minute before you leave? We had a great town hall up on Route 405, and thank you for putting the letter together. I know Jack's been working hard on that, so we're very grateful for that. And hopefully no lives will be spared there. We also had a wonderful town hall about the bridge going over Route 50 that we're excited to continue to work on. And this Friday is the Historic Car Show with Mike Francis. And since we're not meeting until the third Tuesday in November. The Kennard Gala luncheon is Saturday, November 8th, so I hope some folks can make that. And the day prior, Friday, is the Black Waterman Monument fundraiser for the Oystering Waterman monument that the commissioners approved to put in down at the Kent Narrows. And that is it. Oh, one more thing. I was approached by Commander Ken Heddleston, AKA Radar, about putting or I should say I approached him, but we talked about putting a flag up at the Chesapeake Bay for the 250th anniversary of our great founding. And American Legion is willing to take this on, and I'm hoping we can get a support letter from the commissioners. It's a heavy lift. I understand that MDOT may not be as amenable as we want them to be, but let's push and try to get that done. It'd be just a great patriotic way to celebrate our beautiful country. Driving from Annapolis or Kent Island and see the huge flag on the bridge.
Just a correction on that, the car show is actually Saturday, November 1st, and that will be at...
Saturday.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Yeah, November 1st, historic car show.
Day after Halloween. Donna, thank you very much. That's 47%. You said that's staggering amount of the county that's been preserved. And so people who don't understand that's preserved forever. It's not going to be developed. It remains ag land, and that's consistent with the efforts to keep Queen Anne's County as a rural county. And for those of you that have questions about why is there development in certain areas, we can answer those for you too. Please reach out to us, because there's state law as to why the areas are where they are that we have to follow. But what we're trying to do is make sure that the areas that we don't have to have developed will stay rural agricultural land forever. And that's staggering, the amount of leverage that you've been able to do for the money that the county put in, the state money that you got out of it. Is I wish we could do that. I wish Chanley could do that when he's trying to get his new vehicles for Parks and Recs. If we could leverage it, we probably can you just train a couple people before you leave?
Yeah. So that's $10 for every dollar.
Yeah. Halloween is Friday. Please drive safely. Kids will be out there running around everywhere. And everybody, you heard from quite a few people today about cars driving fast through these neighborhoods, and there's only so much that your government or your sheriff can do about that. Here's what you do. You need to drive slow and tell your kids to drive slow. And if your kids are driving fast and you catch them, do what our dads would have done to us. And that will help address some of these issues, because it is an issue of personal responsibility and safety for the kids around. I live up and down Route 8, so people fly down this road way faster than they need to. They don't stop for people to come in and out of the roads. There's absolutely no need for it, because when you fly past me, you get to the stoplight the same time as me. So it wasn't any faster, but you could kill a kid or somebody else. And people have been hit on these roads, and people have died. So please, everybody, do your own part. If you see your neighbor kid speeding down the road, go tell his parents. Don't worry about get the kid in trouble. They need to learn not to speed down the roads. That's what everybody can do as part of that. Sorry, as my soapbox moment.
Plus, it's deer moving season. The fields are getting cut, deer are going to be moving, so you're going to have a lot more deer hits.
That's right.
Anybody that's ever hit a deer, luckily, but if you hit one, you know the results.
It's a lot of damage. Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Be in favor? All right. Close. Thank you.